Get you over the river. All right, so we're calling to order the Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting for September 5, 2024. Would you call the roll, please, ma'am?
Chairman Timaeus,
I'm here.
Board Member Beaver,
Here.
Board Member Hilliard,
Here.
Board Member Rowe,
Here.
Board Member Sorrell,
Here.
Alternate Board Member Lucas is absent, Alternate Board Member Jones.
All right,
you.
so today we're sitting as a group of 5 members plus an alternate. We'll be taking the votes of the 5 members. You need 4 out of 5 to pass an exception or a variance. But Mr. Jones is certainly here, and he's certainly welcome, and we appreciate his participation and his input and insights and whatever else he can add to the discussion between now and the time we take each of the votes. So what I'd like to do now is get through the minutes of the last meeting that I missed. And so if somebody take a look at those and make a motion on it or talk
Make a
to us
motion,
about
we
the
approve the
content.
minutes.
I second.
Would you, all in favor, say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the minutes are approved. Now what we'd like to do is get everybody who's going to speak for, against, or otherwise say anything at all today in this meeting to stand up, raise your hand, and be sworn as witnesses all at one time so we don't have to do that more than once or over a period of time.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right. So since only one person in the audience stood up, we're probably missing somebody for one of these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call for public hearing file PZ 2024-181. It's a request for a variance to the minimum side yard setback requirements at 2680 Dauphine Place. The request, as I understand it now, is for a reduction of the side yard setback from what would be 5 feet required to 1 foot. And is the applicant in the audience? Mr. Limbrick in the audience?
No, sir, he's not here today.
Okay. I understand that this was taken up at the last meeting.
The last 2 meetings, it's been
Okay.
tabled.
2 meetings.
All right. Since it is the applicant's obligation to show up and bear the burden of proof to show the necessary conditions for a variance, we have some options. One of those options is to table again. One of those options is to simply hear the staff report and say whether or not we think that the burden of proof has been borne by just the staff report and take a vote. What's your pleasure? Anybody have a conversation or a suggestion about that? Okay.
I would say, if I may, the first time it was tabled because there was only 4 sitting members, and the mother was here and was not aware of all the requirements. The second time it was tabled with guidance from the commission of what they wanted to see the request be made as. He has submitted this 3rd time with a corrected request based on what was provided last meeting.
Okay. Then let's hear the staff report and see where things go. And he may show up in the middle of it. We'll see. Or I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's be even fairer than that. Let's hear the other item on the agenda, see if he shows up between now and the end of the meeting, and we'll hear that staff report at the end of the meeting if we are through with Kelly Hardy's request. So let's pull up the second item on the docket, PZ 2024-240. This is a request for a variance to the minimum front yard setback requirements, plural, at 4375 Maddox Street. And because of the configuration, let me pull this up. My understanding is that once upon a time, there was a request for changing front yard setback from 25 feet to 9 feet. Has that been modified at this point?
So yes, There has been a amended site plan that was provided to us just shortly before this meeting that has been distributed to you. The request that was publicized and advertised is to reduce the the front yard setback on Dewey and Woodrow from 25 feet to 9 feet. However, the revised setback is a much more
Larger, longer.
accessible request, I would say, as they're requesting to reduce the setback from 25 feet to 19 feet.
Okay. So since that's a greater setback and not a lesser setback, that seems like a reasonable amendment to hear without additional notice, because we would be considering a 9-foot request anyway. So let's hear the staff report on this, please.
Kelly Hardy of Camellia Homes, on behalf of Tracy Singleton, is requesting a variance to the minimum front yard setback for the property located at 4375 Maddox Street. The property is zoned RS, residential single family, which requires a minimum front yard setback of 25 feet. The structure will face Maddox Street, however, the ordinance describes the narrowest street frontage as being the front of the lot. The property currently has 3 street frontages, making both Dewey Street and East Woodrow Street considered the frontage of the property. With the amended site plan provided, the applicant is now seeking to reduce the front setback requirement from 25 feet to 19 feet at both Dewey and East Woodrow frontages to accommodate the construction of a new home. We did send out 28 property owner notices. We received 0 in response at all, so there was no in favor or opposition to the request. On the screen, you will see the subject property, and you can see the 3 street frontages. This is the subject property from Maddox Street. The house will face this way, so standing here, you would be looking at the front door. This is from East Woodrow Street looking through to Dewey, so there would be a 19-foot setback on this side. And this is from Dewey Street looking through to East Woodrow. Again, 19 feet on this side. This was the original submitted site plan. You can see the 9 feet on both Dewey and East Woodrow. The revised site plan that has been provided showing the 19 feet from both Dewey and East Woodrow.
Okay. Any questions from any of the members of the group up here? Hearing none?
Correct.
All right. So hearing no questions from our crew, we'd like to hear from the applicant if possible. You stood up and raised your hand. Would you come talk to us a little bit? Step up where you can speak into the microphone. Tell us your name, your address, your relationship to the property, and then just tell us whatever you want to about this application.
My name is Wesley Thomas II. I am a associate with Camellia Homes. Basically, the issue on the first drawing was it was a bigger home by a survey guy, and you know how you do your homework. You need to go over it 2 or 3 times. So the third time I went over, I was like, something is not right here. So we realized that the measurements was wrong through the survey, and that's how we amended it with it this time on there. So that's how we got the measurements correct now. And we're trying to do this for applicant on Ms. Clayton's behalf to get her a new home and to beautify Beaumont as we can.
Okay. And is this a programmed home, or is this just a privately built home? What's
Privately
going
built
on?
home, sir.
Okay. Great. Any other questions?
I'm just curious, where will the driveway be? Will it be off one of the side streets?
Yes, sir. It'll be on the side street off of Dewey.
Okay. And is there going to be at some point a request for a carport or something that goes with this?
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
So it's no garage.
There's no garage in this, or is there a garage in the house that you've proposed?
On which one? It is. On the right hand side. On Dewey Street.
On Dewey Street. Okay.
22 foot.
Yeah. Okay.
So do you know, sir, because my concern when I looked at this first, when we saw the 9 feet, I was like, the other homes between here and the school's down the block, how far would you think, is this 19 feet more or less going to be in line with some of those other homes? Because I know over on the back street on East Woodrow, they've got that garage apartment behind you that's like almost right on the line when you look at these photographs. So I'm just wondering how this house along Dewey Street will line up with the other homes. You have a feel for that?
It'd be pretty close on that. To get the measurement, you have to go out there and measure from, the
I
homes
just
got
didn't
on.
know how y'all picked when you decided how to set it on the lot, if you were kind of looking
We basically try to sit it, directly in the middle.
in the center.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. If you got anything else to tell us, if not, then we'll start deliberating, we'll give you a result.
That's
I'm
it.
sorry, Mr. Thomas, could you please state your address for the record?
8110 East Texas Freeway.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Somebody want to make a motion? You have some discussion. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Well, I understand, yeah, seeing around it, I understand all that, but, truth is, man, you take a lot and say, you got frontage on all sides of it, you're taking 50 feet out of a lot.
Yeah,
So, I understand, somebody needs some slack.
I mean, that's 20 feet, 20 feet.
Yeah,
I make a motion, we have approved file PZ 2024-240.
Can I get you to be specific in that, Mr. Hilliard, with the two site plans in front of us?
Okay, I say we approve file PZ 2024-240 with the addition, with the new addition site plans.
The amended
that show
site.
the 19 feet setback
Thank
instead of the 9.
I second.
would you call the roll for a vote, please, ma'am?
Chairman Tamayo?
I'm for it.
Board Member Beaver?
For it.
Board Member Hilliard?
4.
Board Member Rowe? Board Member Sorrell?
For it.
Okay, congratulations. Wait till things roll out, talk to the ladies over here about the wait time, and then y'all can get up and go. Okay? Thank you for coming in and handling it this way. I appreciate that. All right, let's go back to file PZ 2024-181 at 2680 Dauphine Place. Let's go ahead and hear the staff report on that, please, and then we'll have some discussion about it. You don't have to read us what's in here. We'll take that as, we'll accept what's written
Okay.
as having been introduced in a record from the written document.
So again, the item, was tabled. So this is the subject property. Subject property from Dauphine. As a reminder, I put Mr. Tomas, since you were not here, the request is he wanted to line up the carport with the pillars on his brick fence. This is the submitted proposed new site plan with the request to reduce the side yard setback from 5 feet to 1 foot for the structural support of the carport.
Okay. And comments by neighbors?
Yes, we sent 19 property owner notices. We received 0 in favor for the request and 1 in opposition. The opposition states that this is a residential neighborhood. We would like for it to remain that way, and I believe that this is being requested to further a commercial business.
Okay. All right. Is there any, well, I don't know that we can take all of that into consideration, but it's nice to hear the comment.
Yeah. That's not the next door neighbor? I would think the next door neighbor worry about all the drainage from the roof.
It's not the immediate neighbor, no, but it is a neighbor.
It's down right here.
Okay. Go back to the picture that shows the house. Because the one I pulled up on Google Earth shows a spot just inside the curb that looks like it could be a water meter or something in the yard. Is anybody taking a look at that?
I didn't look at that. Let me see. Can I see your?
Yeah.
It could be their water.
Yeah, that looks like the water meter. So his driveway,
His drive, it looks like he's gonna
Drive would be-
pave over the water meter. Now, I don't know that that's real.
yeah,
But
that's a
that's-
water meter.
That's what it looks like.
That's a meter. Look at it, Rogers. That's a water meter.
That's a big deal.
Well, the other concern
It is
is
a
what
water
you just
meter.
showed is a site plan.
is a
Yeah,
water
right in
meter.
the city right away.
Is it?
Yeah, that shows 2.5 feet with 3 feet between the
Oh, yeah.
carport and his house.
Can't-
Ours shows 5 feet. It's just not, it's not the same.
Yeah, yeah, or 3 feet here.
I do apologize. This is the site plan from the previous meeting that's on the screen. So I do apologize for that. It looks like during the revamp, it maybe just didn't get changed out. The site plan that is in your packet is the correct
He moved
site
it
plan.
Yeah, I was like,
further to the line.
it's just like,
But this was in there, but his request
Yeah,
last month was
well,
to
yeah,
reduce
that's
the
right.
setback, if I'm remembering correctly.
Well, go back to the drawing?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
So if you look
okay.
at the drawing on your screen, you'll see that the exterior, the interior side is a request for 2 feet 6 inches. And then next to the house, it's 3 feet is the separation there. In your packet, the
5,
site
6 plus
plan,
21.
Yeah.
how did he do that?
There's-
I mean, he's making the carport smaller.
yeah, he went from
There's
21 feet
20.
width to 20.
So he's
Yeah.
making it more of a single car.
So he went from 26.6 to
Elena,
26.6,
help
yeah.
help me out. I know we were asking him a lot of questions last month. What was he supposed to bring back to us?
He was supposed to bring, and I actually was not here last month. I was
That's
out.
right, Denny. was-
But I did watch the meeting live. The previous request to the 0 foot, the concern was that the
26.
edge of the structure would overhang
That's
into
right.
the other
Right.
property. So the request was, he was asked to bring back his request to at least set it in to at least a foot off the property to prevent that overhang onto another
Onto his
property.
neighbors, yeah.
He did it.
Yeah, that's what we just.
So, let me ask one more question.
Yeah.
If we were to approve this, will he have to bring back his, the code enforcement, will he have to bring back another site plan or structural detail or something showing?
When he submits for his permit, he will have to submit the site plan to be constructed, which is the one that is in your packet, not the one that is on the screen. The one in the packet showing the 1 foot would be considered. And then if the permit should be issued through all the department reviews, before post or set, the inspectors would go out, verify location, and through a number of construction inspections, verify that what's been permitted is what's actually built.
I just don't want him to be over on the neighbor.
Right, and so for my clarification, if the variance is granted to go from 5 foot to 1 foot setback, the concrete or slab on the ground and any structure coming off of that will be at least 1 foot off of the.
So the slab on the ground, the pavement requirement is 2 feet. The pavement, there was not a variance request to the pavement allowance. The pavement has to be at least 2 feet off the property line. The structural support of the carport is where the distance is from the reduction from 5 feet to 1 foot.
His eve can only be.
So that means, yeah, the pole.
Pole or post.
Does you think he understands that there's gonna be a post and a gap and then pavement?
I will say Mr. Limbrick is, he does pull many permits in Beaumont. He does a lot of construction here. I do know that. So I'm sure he is aware, or I would like to believe so. But, again, this is the third,
I understand.
so.
And we ask you to speculate about what somebody else knows or doesn't know, and I understand that you can't really give us a definitive answer, but
I mean, he did it.
that is an oddity.
It's doing a drain.
I believe his request is to go from 5 foot to 1 foot is in response to the, I hate to say direction, but the feedback he got from the board last month. And
So he did reach out afterwards and he did verify that what was discussed here was at least the minimum of 1 foot, because again, his intention was to line it up with his fence for aesthetic purposes. So scooching it in other words, he wanted to verify that that's what he needed to do, and we encouraged him to say, if that suits your request. Because staff tries our best to not design projects for people. It's always your response. You can always ask for it. We can never guarantee it.
Even if he made the roof look like the roof that's on the house, what do you, look at that house and give me a guess on the soffit width under the roof?
It would appear to be
Pretty much standard.
Yeah, so what's standard, 16 inches, 18 inches?
I would err on the side of 18 inches.
I think so. I think soffit's typically a little more than a foot.
You gonna be over.
Well, but
Well,
he may be doing metal. He may be doing a metal.
It could be. I don't know okay. Well, and he's not here. So if there's any more questions for the staff, are there any more questions for the staff?
He's doing a pitched roof. Remember, we talked about it last time. That was the big concern about the water on the neighbor's side. Because he's gonna try to match the aesthetics of the house with the bricks and everything. So
Okay.
it's gonna have a pitch.
the 1 foot setback, the columns, whatever they are constructed of will be 1 foot off of the, have to be 1 foot off of the
That's what
property line.
Right.
And then the roof could overhang that.
Yeah.
It was my understanding of the code though, is that they can't overhang past the property line. So
It's still gonna hang.
That's the intent, that's the intent of the code, but the code measures to the structure.
We don't-
When we start talking about setbacks, to the vertical structure wall.
when he submits for his building permit, he'll have to show all that, won't he? Typically.
So he will have to submit construction plans, how it's going to be constructed, things like that. Typically, those include slopes, pitches, roof details, things like that in our
Elevations that would show how far that's gonna be and.
yes, and our building official does review those. And again, there's a multitude of inspections that happen for that purpose.
Okay,
You could have a small soffit. I mean, you could have it.
sure.
You could have 6 inches and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
another.
You could.
I mean, that's why it'd be nice to talk to him.
Well, so, again, one more time, is there any more questions for the staff? Okay, then at least, in Old English times, they would step out in the hallway and page for somebody, send the bailiff out. We don't have that. But if somebody is here that wants to speak for or against or otherwise make a comment on the item that is before us at this point, PZ 2024-181, that shows a request for variance to the minimum side yard setback at 2680 Dauphine Place from 5 feet to 1 feet. We want to hear about it. Going once, going twice. No one has stepped forward. So that's where we stand at this point. I'm going to close the evidence on that. And let's have a discussion then among ourselves about what you guys want to propose or comments. Anything?
Well, I mean, we could table it again, give the guy the benefit of the doubt to come in front of us in one more time. That's what we wanted. We wanted some more facts about what he was trying to do.
I understand that. I wasn't here at the time, so I'm following your lead on that.
What do you think, Jeff? Rogers?
All right? I'm just looking for a motion. It's up to you guys to make one if you want to. And that's the question. So who's going to make a motion first? You're going to make a motion to deny, or you're going to make a motion to table?
I move to table, PZ 2024-181, and bring it back on the agenda for next month's meeting.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion? All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Would you call a roll for a vote, please, ma'am?
Chairman Tamayo,
I'm okay with that. Let's table it.
Board Member Beaver,
I'm for it.
Board Member Hilliard,
4.
Board Member Rowe, Board Member Sorrell.
All right, is there any more business to come before our group today? And hearing none, the meeting is adjourned.
That's what they say.